Greetings YouTube. I have drug home again another TV from the recycle shop. This time this is a 60-inch LG LED TV. Let me get the model number right here. Alright, we got a, let's see if we can get this in the dark light here. There we go. 60LN5400 is a model number on this one. What we got here is everything checks out pretty good. When I hit the power button, we get life out of the main board. We're getting 12 volt where we should get 12 volt, 24 we're supposed to have 24, and we're getting 3.3 turn on. Everything looks good. Main board's responding, power supply comes up, got 24 volts coming out to the LED driver board, but no LED light. So I think we have another case of defective LEDs. It's kind of, I think that seems to be the kind of normal thing nowadays, these newer LED TVs. Remember 10 years ago it used to be that everything had bad capacitors, but now everything seems to have bad LEDs. There's a panel part number. Never heard of Heesung panels before, but well, let me tear into it, see if I can find some bad LEDs. Okay, so I got the panel apart, got the LCD panel off, had a chance to look to see how it's wired. This has wires running up and down on both ends. What they did is they blocked it off into quadrants. So we have four equal sections. Each section has 40 LEDs. So if I were to test this whole group, I would need, assuming that we'd be at about 3 volts per LED, I would need about 120 volts to light up this quadrant. My power supply doesn't go up to 120, but what it can do is I can test one strip at a time. So that's what I'm going to do, is just go down each strip and make sure we don't have any dead ones. Okay, well, all of the LEDs tested good, so it looks like I took the panel apart for no reason. So now I'm going to go ahead and take a closer look at that LED driver board and see why it has no output. Looks like I was wrong once again. This is what I should have done before I started taking the panel apart, is just check to make sure the LED driver board's even getting a turn-on signal. Actually, what I should have done is done a little research and Googling, but this is how not to fix a TV. So anyways, what I should have done is just check to make sure the inverter board's even getting a turn-on signal. So let's go ahead and pin that on here. Board's plugged in. Sometimes they boot up right away and turn on. Let's see. Right now we're at no turn-on signal. Let's hit the power button. Still no turn-on signal. I'm getting a red light over here. It's doing something. It's something's turning on. It's just not this LED driver board. Let me fiddle with the power button a few more times. Still no. I'm expecting to see 3.3 or maybe 5 volts at some point in time, and we got nothing. We have a 1/10 of a volt at the highest she goes. So leads me to believe the turn-on signal is not coming from the main board. If I would have done a little research before I started, I would have seen that eBay has tons of LED driver boards for really cheap. You can also find tons of power supplies for really cheap. You can find tons of T-cons for really cheap, but you can't really find any main boards. And when you do find a main board, it's usually $100. So it leads me to believe, common failure, these things go bad. And let's take a quick look-see here. This main board is full of BGA chips, ball grid array. I see one here. I'm sure this is one under the heatsink, and another one here. I'm not really a big fan of VGA chips. I own an Xbox 360. I think this TV is suffering from red ring of death. I see a reflow in its future. Okay, I've already started the reflow process. Got my bottom heat on. I'm gonna get this a little over 200. A little hot here. Got a little 951 flux under I'm going to start with the main BGA chip, the one with the heatsink on it. Okay, there we go. I'm at it. Kill the heat. Turn this off. Time to let her cool. We'll let it cool off. Reinstall it. We'll see what happens. Well, I didn't have any luck with the first reflow. But I was doing some more testing and I wanted to show that you can take the 3.5 volts from the supply and force it into the driver on. And if you look through these holes right here, holes throughout, you can see backlight is working. So that just confirms again the driver board for the LEDs are okay. The LEDs themselves are okay. The power supply is probably okay, but the main board is still not sending that 3.3 volts driver on signal. I gotta go through that main board some more or replace it. Okay, so if you follow the turn on signal pin, let's see if I can get a good view here. It's this pin on the edge here. I've got it marked with an arrow. That's the turn on signal for the backlight. Now if you follow that, it goes through, I believe, this transistor right here, which is tied into a via to the foil on the backside, and it's one of these paths right here, which runs right to that BGA chip right there. So this I believe this is the culprit still for it not turning on. I reflowed it twice. There was no take. So what I did is I ordered a new main board. Here's a free plug for TV Parts Guy. He had a price a little bit better than eBay, $59, $10 for shipping, so $70. I got a new main board. The thing is, if you look at the part number on the main board that came out of the TV, focus, come on. Focus on that part number. There. EAX 651051011 1.7. This is the board that was in the TV. This is the bad board. This wasn't in stock, but they had one that came out of the same model TV. That was the EAX 65105 1.0. The only difference I could see was this plug here is yellow and green, where on the original it's just green, so it must have some option this one doesn't have. All the ports and everything else were the same and all lined up, so I took a chance, bought it, put it in. Look at this. Hit the power button. Look at that, we got backlight. We got light coming through there. And we should have, there we go, we have an image. There it is. So that's what it was. It was the main board. It wasn't the LEDs, wasn't the LED driver. It was the main board not sending that signal. Well, I guess the TV's fixed. I will say I'm impressed with how many, for being a budget TV, I'm impressed for how many LEDs this thing has. It should be super bright. I'm expecting it to have a very bright, crisp, vibrant picture. Doesn't have a whole lot for inputs though, like just 2 HDMI ports for the whole thing, so it's kind of a maybe a Black Friday special or something. But, well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.